Hi, everyone. We're back again with another look at another film noir, a more recent vintage of film noir called Marlowe, another Marlowe, another movie called Marlowe. And with me, I have F.R. Jameson. I'm Debbi Mack, author of the Sam McRae and Erica Jensen mystery series and other books. F.R. Jameson is here too.
Yes, I'm F.R. Jameson, author of the Screen Silent Noir series and other books.
Excellent.
Mm.
And let's start off with FR giving us a summation of what can be understood of this movie
Well, I'll give you what
without
the
giving away
setup
too much.
is. Philip Marlowe were quite. It's 1930s, but it's rather than the 1940s. But it's quite a old Philip Marlowe, one who's a veteran of the First World War, and he's hired by Diane Kruger, who tracked down. She's a married woman, but she wants to track down her lover, who allegedly died outside a elite club that various people will remember of, but she's seen him on the streets of Mexico since then, so she wants him found for reasons best known to herself. And so Philip Marlowe starts investigating, and things become far more complicated from there.
Yes.
Mhm.
And by the way, it was 1939. I made a note of it.
1939.
October of 1939 in Bay City, California.
Well, that confused me at the very side point. At the start, I thought, oh, that's interesting, as it's set in Bay City, and that Bay City in the books tends to be a place that Marlowe goes
Goes
to
to,
from Los
yeah.
Angeles. But later on, it seemed to me it was set in Los Angeles. They referred to being in Los Angeles later on in the film.
Yeah.
And so I got a bit confused about where exactly we were supposed to be.
Where the hell are you? Yeah. Are you in Los Angeles, Bay City, or what? Are they the same
Yeah.
thing? I don't know. Very interesting, very strange. It starts off in the usual manner with this beautiful woman coming in with a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that this, compared to the last one we saw, certainly had little to no narration that I can recall.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I don't think there was
Yeah.
any narration.
I'm thinking there wasn't, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I didn't really notice it or make a note of it or anything. All of the lines are delivered by Liam Neeson with this kind of, I don't know how to describe it, just kind of like eh, just like he's talking about the weather or something. I
I
don't,
thought he had a world weariness to him.
a
That,
world we're in. Oh yeah,
yeah.
definitely. I mean, he spoke like a guy who was practically tired of saying his lines.
Yes. Which in the later Marlowe books he is. I mean, the book it's based on, which I have read but don't remember much of. Although in my Goodreads review, I noted that it had a lot of echoes of The Long Goodbye.
Hmm.
But I mean, it is set after The Long Goodbye, the book. So you're very much in the Marlowe as this weary, broken figure
Yes.
period of the books.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
definitely the way he comes across. Weary and
Yeah.
broken and
Yes.
oh gee. Not another fight I have to get into because I noticed the fight scenes too are very short and they seem to kind of explode out of almost nowhere.
Well, it's
It's
one
kind
of
of
the
like he
things
enters a room, there are a couple of guys there, and ah shit. Okay, boom, I'll have to throw a punch.
it's one of the things I thought. What it's a constant theme throughout the film about how old Marlowe is. That he's
Yes,
too old for this shit. But every single young hoodlum he comes up against, he beats the hell out of.
of
Very
course.
little.
Of course. Yeah, it's a very interesting take on Marlowe, that's for sure.
Mm.
Um, I was thrilled to see Bernie Oles make an appearance in the form
Yes.
of Colin uh
Colin Meaney?
Colin Mean, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like him.
yeah,
And I also Alan, I can't think of his last name.
Cummings.
Yes, thank you. I have loved him ever since I saw him in that Bond film where he plays a
Yeah,
guy who's
Goldeneye.
always saying, "I'm invincible."
Yes.
I always think of
But
that every time I see him now. I am
that's what
invincible.
that's one of the things this film gets right in that you think of the classic noir that is you so you're putting your Sidney Greenstreet, your Peter Lorre, your various character actors to fill out the
Yes,
roles as if charismatic. So we got Danny Houston and Alan Cummings and Colin Mean and Ali Wade, Akinoyo Agabaye, who are all good charismatic character actors, and so that fills
yes,
out sort of makes their scenes pop.
yes, absolutely, for
Yeah,
sure.
and we have
Ev-
Diana Kruger and Jessica Lange as well, both of whom have played opposite Liam Neeson before. So Jessica Lange certainly played Liam Neeson's love interest in the past, and I think from what I read of the synopsis of the other film they were in together, so's Diana Kruger.
hmm,
It was noticeable, I felt that Diana Kruger is the one who has the flirtation with him, despite the fact Jessica Lange is clearly far more his age.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was all very interesting. Yeah.
What did you think of it as a whole?
As a whole, it's kind of like it's very strange for me because I'm writing something similar, kind of that a similar sort of what would you call it premise. I don't want to say too much, but it's just interesting. I thought it was very Chandler-like plot. You have
Mm-hmm.
people just showing up now and then, and oh, who's this Miss Toxteth you're talking about now? Yeah, somebody pops in, and it's like,
Yes.
okay, now we look into that, and you know, and then there's this mysterious ambassador,
Yes.
and the
Yeah.
name gets mentioned all the time, and so that the way it comes back to the ambassador is interesting and mysterious and I couldn't tell you what he's an ambassador of or
he's going to be ambassador to Britain. He's going to be the American ambassador to Great Britain.
oh, okay.
Yeah. But yes, it's
Interesting.
because he says you're going to be the ambassador of the court of St. James, that's what it's officially called. But
Ah.
yes, if you don't know that, then you're just going, where's the court of St. James? What is that?
Okay. Gosh.
Now,
Um, yeah.
I was watching this and I was thinking, whenever I've tried to write as a proper detective story, the problem I find is it just becomes quite plodding. That you go to place A and get clue A, you go to place B and get red herring B, get beaten up by suspect C, have an assignation of suspect D, and it just kind of plods along.
Hmm.
And watch this over there. Yeah, the film's got the same problem. It's just yeah, you start off and then it just plods along through lots of different stuff,
It's a bit
lots of different Chandler-esque
episodic.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very episodic in the way it's kind of like. I mean, it follows the kind of Chandler doctrine of you need someone to come to the door with a gun, so
Hmm.
it understands that, but it never makes it. Oh well, apart from towards the end, it really makes it um exciting or gripping. It's just kind of this is happening
Yeah.
now.
It is rather a slow build up, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So
Hmm.
it's just kind of so we're doing this time. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And yeah, the way the end comes at you is kind of like, oh, okay. So, right. That's what this was all about then.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Shrug. Um, it just
Yes, which it
it
turns out
feels
we're going to
somehow
spoil massively. But Diana Kruger wanted to find her lover so she could kill him, essentially, is what it
exactly,
boils
yeah.
down to.
And it's really bizarre, just because it just mimics something that I've been working on
So
in a sense, sort
you
of,
just have to
kind of.
tear up your work now and go back
No,
to the drawing board.
nah, nah. Ideas are out there for the taking. Anyway,
Yes.
I'd never even seen this movie before, so nobody can accuse me of stealing the plot device or whatever. Plot
Yeah.
devices are, they're there. People use them all the time with different words.
I mean,
Anyway,
it does create an issue of if you're trying to. I mean, so I suppose if she's very rich, this is how she's going to get away with the murder anyway. But if you're trying to get away with a murder, you should probably um, avoid including too many people in your plot, and certainly not hire a private detective who is going to charge all over town in hunting this man known.
yes.
So when he winds up dead, questions are bound to be asked to him and possibly of you about what was going on.
Good point. Very
Yeah.
good point. Yeah.
I mean, I think the best towards the end, not the ending itself, but towards the end, I thought was the best bit of the film where he's been drugged and he's dragged through all those rooms of different colours. If I say he's been drugged, he pretends he's been drugged.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, Danny Houston has drugged him and he's dragged through all these rooms of different colours and then finds Alan Cummings tied up and tortured, and he and Adewale Akinnuoye together go in and gun down. And I kind of liked it, even though the gunning down of the guy, that doesn't really feel very Marlowe-esque. You go in with an accomplice and start shooting everybody. It's quite
Yeah.
Mike Hammer.
Yeah, he gets very Mike Hammer toward the end there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Then he really pours it on. It's like, okay, I have just enough energy to do this.
yes.
Yeah. Most interesting.
But Neeson looked quite good, despite him 70 making this film. I thought he could have passed for 55. He certainly looks younger than Robert Mitchum, who was 60 in his first Marlowe film.
Yeah, I
He
was
looks
gonna
younger than
say
Robert Mitchum does, yeah.
he's probably, I was gonna say it would be interesting to compare their performances. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, I believe him as an aging Marlowe.
Yeah. He's got the kind of right build for it, and
Hmm.
he does have that kind of lived in look. And it's really a bit it's a shame much like the Mitchum ones. I don't think you've seen the Mitchum ones, have you?
I've seen one of the Mitchum ones many, many years ago to the
Yeah.
point where I can't even remember. I just remember Charlotte rambling.
Oh, that's the first one. Yeah, that's the first one. My lovely.
Hmm.
Um, but it's much like him. I think you look back and go, yeah, he was a good Marlowe. It's just a shame he didn't do it more in his prime than,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and not do sort of a better film as well.
Mm.
It's weird that it's still the Mitchum ones, the last cinematic adaptations of an actual Chandler book. Because this one is not. Well, I say that there is a Czech film that's released in the last 3 years that is a Philip Marlowe adaptation.
Really?
How easy it would be to get hold of and whether it's ever been subtitled, I don't know. But that would be fascinating to see what a Czech Philip Marlowe film looks like.
That would be fascinating indeed.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yes,
Give
I'll have to
it a
see if I
name
can
by
get
any
yes, see if I can
chance.
get it with English subtitles but that would be an absolutely left field choice to watch. What strange Czech movies? I say
Oh,
strange. Then maybe it may be one of the best Philip Marlowe adaptations ever.
yeah, I'm intrigued actually.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it if it does exist in a way we can watch it.
That would be awesome. A Czech adaptation of the Philip Marlowe story.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's the kind of thing the French used to do. You know, you'd have like Robert, the Richard Stack novels would get adapted in France, and Patricia Highsmith. There's a Jim Thompson as well is a big trend of adapting American hard-boiled writers.
Mm,
So they don't. I guess. I mean, I think I said before that Raymond Chandler died without a will, so his estate
hmm
has always been in a bit of a flux.
mm. Fascinating.
I mean, surely will go out of copyright in I think 10 years, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
Something
yeah,
like 10 years, yeah.
yes,
Because Dashiell Hammett's stuff has gone into the public domain.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
very interesting. So, let's see.
You have in your
Oh,
notes.
one of the things I noticed is that he seemed to be interested in getting his badge back toward the end.
Yes, yeah.
I was like, will that get my badge back? I'm like, you want to go back to work for them, huh?
Well, there's never a thing of he doesn't have a pension. So this is
Right,
presumably
right.
why
I
he's
get it.
still working.
Yeah.
But then, if it's 1939 and he
Mhm.
served in the Great War, he's presumably not meant to be much more than like 45. There's only 21 years on from the First World War.
That's a good
So, presuming he
point.
wasn't in the army as a 40-year-old, he was a
Yeah.
younger man.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So yeah, I mean, he'd have to be he'd be coming on as an old rookie.
Yes.
And it
Yeah,
takes a while to
the
build up a
math.
pension.
Yes, the massive, much like the Bay City setting or something which seems to be dropped. The 1930s setting, I didn't really get why it wouldn't be 1949. You could have still been a First World War veteran in 1949, and just
Well, this was 1939,
yeah.
and I noticed at the end all the Nazi
Oh
symbols
yes, yeah.
in the book burning.
But then I don't think many because at that point you still had the American studios were still making films with the German market in mind. So there's still before 1941, and certainly before 1939, but before 1941 as well, as a case, is an attempt not to upset that market.
hmm
So
But
whether a film would have, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know if a film would have been made in 1939 depicting book burnings as bad because it's like, how would you sell that in Germany? We've got cinema trains over there. We need our product. We can't sell this film.
that's the thing, though. I don't think they would
Yeah,
have sold it in film, but it might have been happening.
yeah. It was certainly happening in Germany, but whether they
Yes.
depicted it in a Hollywood film is
Hollywood,
unclear to me.
there was a thing on television, American Horror Story, I think,
Oh yeah,
that
yeah.
took place in LA, and there was a Nazi movement. They were
Hmm.
talking about a
Yeah.
secret Nazi movement or something, trying to gain a foothold there.
Okay. Okay.
And I thought it was
I'm
kind
still not.
of amusing that the chauffeur for Marlowe there, who ended up getting the job, I guess, with the ambassador or whatever,
Yes.
said, "Well, that Lenny Riefenstahl can really make a movie." Okay. I had no idea that people watched Leni Riefenstahl movies here at all. Was she
She
popular
did.
around here?
She did come over in the 30s and was fated by various. I think Disney met her. She was fated by various studios. I'm not sure, actually. I say she was fated by various studios. I have a feeling only Disney met her. The others didn't actually want to, because he was already Hitler's, you know, pet
Hmm.
filmmaker.
Yeah,
But yeah,
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 yeah. Yeah, he was a
controversial.
controversial figure, Hitler. I mean, right? I mean, for a while
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
people were actually thinking this person could be dealt with in some way that short of a war, I suppose, until he started like bombing everybody.
Well, exactly, because I mean, we look at it now and we know what we know about Hitler. It's going very much off track here, but what we know about
Yes, I
Hitler and
know.
everything, yeah, there's
Well,
nothing.
it
But
just we're
you're talking
speaking
about a
of Hitler
generation that
and
had lived through the First World War, so they're very anxious not to go back to the First World War.
exactly, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
everybody was anxious not to go back to the First World War.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
pretty
But they
horrific
didn't
in
want another
itself,
global
yeah.
conflict. Yeah, I have to
But
say, to come back to the film from 1930s geopolitics as well. So since it was filmed in Barcelona and Dublin,
yes,
I did think that Barcelona made it very good at 1930s LA.
I know. I was like a little bit shocked. My goodness, what an interesting stand-in for Southern California.
Yeah,
That makes sense, actually. I know
and
Italy
it's a
was
European film.
somewhat.
The interiors are in Dublin. You can film the interiors anyway because he's building the sets. So, and it's a very European cast,
Yes, yes.
with the exception of Jessica Lange. So I think even Danny Houston, if I remember rightly, was raised in Italy.
Hmm, interesting.
If I'm remembering the Houston's book I read correctly, Danny Houston was 14 before his father mentioned him to his other children.
Hmm.
And until that point, he was raised in Italy by his mother, his father popping in every so often. And then
Hmm.
when Danny Houston was 14, Ron Houston felt the urge to mention it to Angelica and so on.
Oh, by the way, yeah, there's this
Yeah.
brother.
I have a baby brother. No, you don't have a baby brother. The very older brother, who I just haven't mentioned.
That's right. Yeah, he's been around.
Yeah, there's obviously. I
Interesting.
mean, it's kind of your cinema geek thing of watching it. Like Daddy Houston can't help in this kind of film remind you of who his father is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't have his father's delivery, but he's still a big charismatic presence in the role.
Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah, and well cast as the as that kind of hail fellow, well met, extremely dangerous club owner.
Hmm.
And Alan Cummings is,
Exactly.
I mean, Alan Cummings I wouldn't necessarily think of as dangerous gangster, but he does incredibly well in the role.
Oh, he's the kind of he is a very good actor.
He is a
I'm
very good
always
actor, yeah.
amazed. I'm always amazed when I see him in different roles. He
Yeah,
just really has a knack for just living in the skin of a character somehow.
yes, yeah. But
And
he's
he is very charismatic. I find him charismatic.
I think the supporting cast is good. I mean, Neeson is good in the central role. The supporting cast is good.
Hmm.
Um, I think there's actually another scene I like, which is kind of the confrontation over the. And it's in a restaurant, whether it's dinner time or between Jessica Lange and Diane Kruger. That had a lot of fireworks, as they're both very good performers as well. It's just you wish the film as a whole would come together into something that was more riveting than
Yeah,
it actually is.
yeah. There's something about the pacing in this and
Yeah,
the one scene after anotherness that
yeah,
yeah, that really could have used something in terms of more moments or something a little more, something more, some
Yeah,
a bit more, I'm not sure what, a bit more action, a bit more suspense, maybe a
yeah,
bit more danger.
yeah,
It seemed like there was something, you didn't feel the stakes somehow. I don't know why.
yeah, yeah. It kind of took place at a kind of a distance to you. You're watching it and go, it is, it's fine, but it's not
It's
truly
fine.
engrossing.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
boring. It's not boring me. But at the
yeah,
same time, I did not find it to be the most compelling story, maybe.
yeah, yeah. And it doesn't
Interesting.
matter as we've already seen that we watched the other Marlowe, the 1969 Marlowe, which also is quite hard to follow what's going on in it, but does manage to have a lot more fun with its material.
Well, you've got the younger, um, quicker, I guess.
Yeah,
There's a lightness to that Marlowe. There's a
there's
the
jokes.
the jokes, the
Yeah,
offhand, the beep beep,
yeah,
car, beep beep.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this Marlowe is older, slower, thinking about that pension and
Yes.
wondering what's next. Do I have to keep doing this forever? Do I have to keep
Yeah.
punching people forever and
Maybe that does
getting
end. I know
drugged,
I quite like
avoiding
the
it?
Liam Neeson, but maybe the world weariness does just put a weight on the film that it can't sustain. That it's just kind of like if your lead character is going, "Oh, the hell with this! Why am I still?"
There is that. It's a good point. It's like the lead character is sort of doesn't feel that call that he used to quite as much.
Yeah,
But at the same time, he keeps turning down lots of money and lots of offers to
yeah,
stop. So
yeah. So
it's
that's
like
that is
it
a very Philip
remains
Marlowe thing to do.
persistent. It's almost like he's burdened with this need to know.
Yes. I suppose in other, I mean, there are lots of films because you have a lot of, a generation of older leading men, and there are lots of films where you have a world weary hero who's nearly retired. And I guess the thing that tends to prompt them on and do the film is you have a younger person they're protecting or inspires something in them. And you don't have that here. You just have he's
Yeah.
taken another case. But
Yeah. He just moves on and
this isn't the kind of culmination of a life that I'm finding my id again. I'm finding what it was to be me. I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory. It's kind of this is Tuesday. Yeah, there's a
exactly.
there's a
It's
dead
just
man over there. Yes,
another.
this is what I do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you and I, what was his name? The chauffeur
Yes.
looks like the beginning of a beautiful friendship. That's what I thought of as they were walking off, and he's like,
Yes.
"Yeah, there's a job. I got a job for you. I think you'll
Yeah.
enjoy it. You'll be good for it." The job that I don't want to take.
Yeah. So I think I mean there's only so much we can say about this film. I think so. I think next month
Next
we were going to
month.
go for the Bogart Big Sleep.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
The Big Sleep. I love
Bogart,
that
Howard
movie so
Hawks, Lauren
much.
McCall. If I
And
have time, because there's two versions of it.
yeah, there are. Yeah, there are
Yeah,
two
but I've
versions.
only
If
ever
you can
seen.
find both, if you manage
Yeah,
to see both, because I've always liked the first one.
yes,
I like the first one a lot. I mean, it's just different, and it's
yeah.
I
I've
mean,
only
you
yeah, I've
can
only seen.
go
I've
ahead.
only ever seen the kind of the properly released version,
Oh
as
yeah.
opposed to the kind of like the curio version.
Oh, it's really kind of interesting. I like
Yeah.
it. I just the differences are just it's like interesting. It's so
Well,
obvious that they wanted to play up the Bacall Bogart thing in the
yeah.
second one. So obvious.
Well, if I'm expecting to explain this for anyone listening, or what on earth is they talking about right now? There is the version that was released in 1946 in the cinemas, but there was an earlier version that went round the studio where Bogart actually explains the plot and accuses people and so on, and it's much more of the mystery angle is played up, and that was taken out to play up the Bogart-McCall chemistry, which Hawks had hit
Yes.
upon and have not. Now you've seen them both, so you can tell me if that's wrong.
That sounds about right. It's been a long time
Yeah,
since I've seen that first one.
yeah.
But yeah, the main thing I remember is that they have um, Lauren Bacall dressed slightly differently in when she meets up with Marlowe in his office.
Mhm.
And the other thing I recall is that the whole speech about horse racing is eliminated. The
Right.
whole, comparing her to a racehorse.
Yeah.
Lovely. In fact, there are a couple of things about that movie that strike me as rather lovely. I'll probably bring up in our discussion,
Yes.
including
We'll
the
save
song
that.
she sings that I've always thought is like, I don't know, some kind of song about domestic abuse. It's really weird. It's like, okay, is this really what they sang about in 1946? Does give one pause.
Yes. Well, we'll save all that for next time. It's actually fresh in our minds. But
Yes, yes.
yeah,
Yeah, I hope we can
until
find
then,
both versions.
yes, I will
That
have a
would be
try.
great. Alrighty. Well, until then, everybody, happy viewing, and we will see you next month. Take
See you next
care.
month.
Be seeing you.